Righto, kia ora koutou everyone, and welcome to today's information session. Before we start, a reminder that this workshop is being recorded, and while this workshop is open to the public, it is for staff to provide guidance to elected members, not a forum for debate or decisions. It is also not a forum for the public to provide input into decisions or bring other matters to the attention of council. If a member of the public does want to provide input, please talk to us, to staff, and they will help you have your say. Apologies, I've got Councillor Johansson's apology, and so is Councillor Goff. Anyone else at the moment? No, that's cool. So our first and only information session today, Community Events and Implementation Plan. I'd like to welcome Lucy, who is here to talk us through the plan and help us, I think. Thank you.
Goals and actions that Council will undertake to develop and deliver community events across Christchurch and Banks Peninsula at a local, regional and national level. The plan focuses on event sponsorship, grants, permitting, marketing, delivery and bidding. As you'll see in the slide, the diagram to the right outlines how this piece of work fits into the event ecosystem. We offer event funding through City Identity, events and festivals, small sports, and Event Seed. We deliver New Year's Eve, Summer Sundays, Kite Day, Summer Theatre, Outdoor Movies, Anzac Day, Sparks, Winter Fireworks, Te Rama Mai, Kids Fest, and Go Live Festival, as well as the community recreation events such as Culture Galore, Walking Festival, Children's Day, and I Love New Brighton. Some of the upcoming national events secured for Christchurch are Special Olympics, National Summer Games, New Zealand Rugby League National Youth Tournament, Ford National Hockey Championships, National Youth Touch Championships. So in developing this plan, we considered feedback gathered over recent years from event attendees, participants and organisers. A statistically representative survey was commissioned to understand how residents perceive council-produced and sponsored events. The survey explored who attends the events, what aspects are most valued, and overall perceptions of the events in the Ōtautahi events calendar. These insights informed the 5-year events calendar. So these are the key priority areas that will guide the planning, funding and delivery of events over the next 5 years. We will strive for a balanced events calendar by diversifying offerings, spreading events year-round, deepening community partnerships, refreshing the events portfolio, reducing events attendance barriers, and evolving funding and sponsorship models with sustainable event practices front of mind. So 3 goals have been developed for this implementation plan, which will help achieve the high-level goals of the events policy framework. Actions to achieve these goals have been developed with key tasks and timings noted. Goal number 1 is focused around event delivery. The key actions relate to fostering creativity and community through diverse sustainable events and strong partnerships, maintain a dynamic calendar, ensure broad audience reach, and review both events, production and partnership models for improvement. Goal number 2 is specific to events partnerships. We aim to enhance collaboration across council departments, review event funding processes, and identify opportunities for development. Goal number 3 is specific to our event spaces, bidding and permitting. The actions are focused around continuing to support a thriving sustainable event sector by reducing waste, streamlining permits, securing national events, upskilling the industry, promotion and reviewing event space use in collaboration with other council units. So that is a short and sharp presentation of the implementation plan. And now we're open up for questions.
Okie dokie. Pauline first, please.
Thank you. Yeah, that was great. Excellent pictures, especially like the one with the surfboards. It's cool.
Oh, that's single fin.
Yeah. Now the seasonality, I know it's more challenging in the winter, but do you have a kind of a lens on what you can do to activate the city in the winter at all, or is it too hard?
Yeah, so that's one of the focuses that we had in the last implementation plan, and we started to bolster up winter. That was when we shifted Guy Fawkes fireworks into the winter calendar. We introduced Te Rama Mai, and we also looked at our events funding, so across funding portals like events and festivals. If there were events in that off season, we tended to encourage or favour those in how we prioritised our funding. We're also looking at different collaborations. That's where Go Live Festival was created in collaboration with industry to try and get people out and using the town hall for an event as well. So it is something that's ongoing for us, and it's also looking at those shoulder seasons too and how they complement the calendar.
Cool.
Sarah?
Sometimes people view community events as ones that are basically just like not sports or not concerts and anything else that just brings people together. But this plan is for the community scale events as opposed to, because there are some quite big events that people might see as community. So I'm thinking with the recent news that Nelson now can't host Te Matatini, for example, there's an enormous opportunity for us. But that would be like a large scale event and not fit within this, wouldn't it?
That would be a large scale community event. So it would...
I thought community events were scale of event rather than type of event, if you know what I mean. So Te Matatini, for example, is like bigger than any All Blacks game, bigger than, you know, any of that kind of stuff.
So that would probably fall into that major event scale then, yeah.
Nigel, are we looking at putting in an EOI for Te Matatini?
Yeah, so that's part of the first slide that Lucy presented. We've got the event ecosystem. So yes, in terms of, we've got a City Partners Group meeting tomorrow morning, and we'll talk through Te Matatini and the recent news for that. So yes.
Yeah, that would be amazing.
Yep.
Yeah, thanks.
Pauline, yeah.
Just your response to that. So mega is bigger than major.
Yes.
So wouldn't Matatini be major?
So
Mega, I mean.
So mega and major both sit within Christchurch NZ's remit, so that would go through CPG.
So they decide where they sit.
Yeah.
Is it determined on the economic benefit or on the number attending, or?
So yeah, but in terms of the Christchurch NZ assessment of major and mega, they've got a number of different factors that they look into, and part of it is the economic impact, but then there are other factors that are considered around bed nights and
then determining which one it is an indicator of the funding that they will be able to support it with.
Yeah.
Right. Thank you.
Tim?
Yeah, I guess, so for instance, if you're looking at, and I totally failed when we used to do Candlelight Opera, which we had Sir Donald McIntyre, and if you're talking global, Sir Donald McIntyre and Dame Kiriti Kanawa are the two big New Zealanders globally. But what we failed to do when we did it was to look at the local talent and bring them along. So we had well-known international stars singing, and we got 12, 14,000 people. But the pathway for our young talent, real talent, to come through and be showcased, we totally missed it. Do you guys look at that? I mean, these are like the Hayley Westerners who really stand out at a very young age. Did you do that as well?
Yeah, we definitely consider like pathway opportunities for local artists, especially across those larger events where they're going to get exposed to a massive audience. Yeah. So particularly for Sparks, for example, we definitely will always have local representation there, whether they're performing directly with the orchestra or as an opening act. Same with New Year's Eve. Is another big opportunity kind of event.
Because it's for you guys as well to start those relationships with those talent managers and those producers, etc., isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And I guess even on a small scale with like Go Live Festival, 50% of our artists that we book with that in mind, with being able to give them opportunity to step into like a professional festival and be exposed to a new audience.
Yeah, cool. Thank you. Cheers.
Mel, then Kelly.
You mentioned in here about reviewing community board funded events. Can you tell me more about that?
Yes, that will be led by the community governance team, and they're planning to undertake a review on how the events are delivered. That's more around looking at efficiencies, how they work with the community and how those events are delivered, and if there's any areas that they want to identify improvement.
Thank you. Kel?
Couple of things. Marston Hall Trusts, which is a group operating in my ward, run a community day, and they have a stage and a lot of intermediate school age bands playing. I know there's a sort of a battle of the bands things, or like the high school rock quest or whatever. It's probably more of a question for Mark. Is there anything like that citywide that could operate? Because I've been staggered by the number of people who come to watch these young kids, and some of them are really talented.
Sure.
Yeah, it's very encouraging for them.
I mean, Rockquest is still the staple, I think, for probably high schools, but there's been a local competition that's run with links to Canterbury Uni called Dig the Gig, and that's in, I think it's 5th year this year, and that's been growing quite steadily, and we've supported that through Guy Live Festival. We give them opening opportunity for the winner of the competition each year.
Yeah, because it is very encouraging for them. And the other thing was the Te Rama Mai, is that a kind of like a lighting festival as well?
Yes, that one is, we're marketing it as an arts and cultural festival, more focused around storytelling. So this year it's going to be held at the Art Gallery and at the Art Centre, and we're focusing around the storytelling opportunities. But there will be installations created by local artists as well, and some of them are illuminated. Yeah.
Do you think that's, the lighting idea? Because there's a show in Sydney, which I just happened upon once and was absolutely blown away. They had the Opera House lit up. Is that something that, is on your radar that you could pursue in winter?
Through Te Rama Mai, we did have aspirations to grow and develop that illuminated area. So one thing we're doing this year is looking at projections. We're doing projection mapping onto some of the walls, and we're also doing a projection show within the Great Hall, working with a company called Streamliner. So I think I guess it just comes down to cost and how we can grow these events. But it's definitely amazing the technology and innovations through Vivid and what could be achieved.
Oh, it is, and yeah, I mean, it's a real feature of that week in Sydney. It is absolutely amazing, and I don't know whether it draws visitors, but be definitely worth pursuing. Yeah, I'd be interested in talking with you after about what it might cost to do a citywide week, something like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cheers.
Okay, that's good. And one thing I must say, just because Christchurch NZ and VO do what we call the mega and major events, the big ones, there's also a big importance for the ones that you do, because the smaller ones will grow into bigger ones, and you're giving them the shot of oxygen or whatever that gets them up there, and that fills in so many gaps around the city. So I've been to a number of them, they're extremely good. So thank you very much for what you do. Any other questions? Okay, thank you for making time to come and see us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Right-ho. Thanks, Lucy. That brings us to the end of our public information session.